Hey yo. Alright. Okay. Cool.
Alright, guys, coming up next we have Diaries of a Spaceport Janitor with 2064 Arcade and Greek Geek on commentary, starting right about now.
Heyo. My name is 2064 Arcade. I should probably mute the stream. Okay, cool, it is muted. My name is 2064 Arcade. Also known as Arcade, also known as Ben, I guess. On commentary, we've got my boy Greek Geek 6467. How you doing, my man? I'm doing pretty good. This game is Diaries of a Spaceport Janitor. It should be showing up on stream. Yes, it is. It is an anti-adventure game where you're a janitor on a spaceport, but we'll go into more detail about that later. So, time should start right about now. So yeah, as I said, you work on a spaceport that acts as kind of a hub of high adventure, high fantasy with a little bit of sci-fi thrown in. Think science fantasy with a little bit of Nickelodeon. But the twist is that you're a janitor making poverty wages. So that's fun. Mostly you just walk around, incinerate trash, collect items. We just went to a lotto shrine. There's 5 of those. They give you items every day. Some of them are useful. This one's pretty useful. It's a municipal credit chip. It's basically just free money. So now we're going to head to the bank. We're going to take out 2 loans, pretty much the maximum of money you can take in the game. They say they're going to collect. They're not going to collect. We beat the game too fast. We have to turn the currency in. That's the form the loan comes in, to that currency exchange man. Refreshing the item menu in order to re-roll the prices to be optimal. Now we're going to go to this lady, and we're going to buy some Eyes of Beb from her. The Eyes of Beb are customary and good luck to eat before entering the sewer dungeons over here. But we're not going to enter the sewer dungeons. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to walk over here and then reset. So you might be wondering, 2064 Arcade, why are we resetting the game already? And the answer to that question is that there is an item in this game, the Fetish of Loster, or the Statue of Loster, if you want to use a less promiscuous term. She's one of the 9 goddesses. You need to have a fetish of all 9 goddesses to beat the game. Again, we'll go into more detail about that later. But basically, you need to have Loster within the first 3 in-game days, or your run is toast. And so in the interest of marathon safety, it's actually better for me to be resetting for 30 minutes and make sure I have it in the starting area than it is for me to just play a run normally and hope that I get it. Because once I know that I have Loster, I know that the run is going to be somewhere around 1 hour and 30 minutes. Now, of course, that is affected a little bit by the 19-minute delay, but it's not too big of a deal if we get, that Loster with any sort of luck. So we're just resetting now. As a quick note, that note we found, I kept it. It's not useful. It basically just tells you that there's treasure in this dungeon. We don't go in that dungeon because of a skip that I will talk about earlier. Well, we do go into the dungeon, but we don't go into the dungeon as intended. And so instead of disappearing, because it's an irrelevant quest item at that point, that note just stays with you forever. Previously, some runners had kept that on the ground. I just stash it in your chest in your room. You'll see at the beginning there, I forgot to mention, you pick one of the favored goddesses. As I said, there are 9 total goddesses. Each one of them has a shrine around the game. We pick Loster, A, because we really need that fetish, and I hope that, I mean, maybe this game is it doesn't tell you a lot about how it works. So a lot of tech is really just guesswork. I hope that it increases your chance of getting Loster. What we just got there was a Fetish of Beb. Whenever we get a Fetish of Beb out of a Lotto Shrine, which is the only place you can get it, instead of keeping it, we stick it on the ground so that it's the last fetish we get. And the reason for that is that we, as a 2 to 3 person community, suspect that the last fetish you get is always going to be the hardest. So we leave Beb on the ground because it's the most common. It shows up in Lotto Shrines constantly, in order to artificially manipulate those chances. So yeah, until we get that Fetish of Loster on the ground on day 0, which again, hopefully shouldn't take long, we're basically just gonna be resetting. I'm gonna be donating 50 cents for every reset, and also I'm gonna be donating $1 to the marathon for every time I accidentally say a curse word. Apparently my 6th grade teacher is watching this. I'm not sure how that happened, but she can't get mad at me for cursing. Oh wait, that's an accident. We'll do that later. That'll be important later, but not yet. Not until after we're done resetting. Spoiling the run. Yeah, but she can't get mad at me for saying bad words if it's for charity. So take that, Miss Burger. Yeah. So that's the run as of now. Greek Geek, anything to say? Yeah, they're basically, we keep those candles because we can use those as offerings. There are basically only 3 real choices for what goddesses to use. And that's because we want to hit every shrine every day, so we pray to every god every day, -2. Because the god of RNG, Beb, that's literally her domain as a goddess, she dislikes min-maxers. And so if we pray to God every day, our luck stat, which is the only stat in the game and is very important for getting good item drops, it's going to tank. So we hit 7 gods every day, we leave 2 out of our route, and one of them we have as our favorite goddess. We have a shrine to her in our house. So it can be Loster, it can be Onus, and it can be Thedalude. Onus is the god of interiors, Thedalude is the god of partying. They're not? Okay, that's an issue. Okay, I'm gonna leave and then... Okay. Okay. Oh no, okay, shit, my desktop audio was muted.
Oh, good job.
I'm a baby.
All right.
I'm a baby. I'm a baby. Hello. Greek Geek 6467, would you like to introduce yourself to everybody now that I have desktop audio on?
Yeah, so I'm the commentator for this run who has been talking for a decent bit of this stream so far. However, turns out I was muted. On his end, not my fault.
That's so sick. Yeah, that's my bad. That's my bad. The thing I responded to Greek Geek saying earlier was that he has personally not had any luck increasing the chances of Loster by picking Loster. I don't think it really works anyways. It's just a superstition, and really, this is sort of a game about superstition. The game says a lot of things increase your luck, even though they don't actually increase your luck. So there's some things that you just kind of have to believe, and that's part of running this game. But there are also things you don't believe. It's a balance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's pretty much just pick and choose what you do and don't believe from what the game says, because it's very, very opaque about all of its mechanics, and it's kind of a coin flip a lot of the time whether or not it's lying to you.
Yeah. Another thing about the game is that testing is kind of hard. Like testing whether something works how the game says it works is sort of difficult. Did I hit the Lotto Shrine? Yes, I hit the Lotto Shrine. It's sort of difficult because the places where you can check your luck, if you check your luck too many times at those spots, They'll reset your luck for trying to like do like stat manipulation. If you try and do anything that's obviously stat manipulation, it will also tank your luck down to 1. For example, if you try and like pray at the same shrine over and over, it will just reset your luck, so you can't do that. If you try and offer the same item to a shrine over and over, or to a different shrine over and over, it will also tank your luck, which can be kind of a hazard if you accidentally pick up something you left as an offering, and then you have to incinerate it, which is kind of rough.
Yeah, so essentially this entire game, a lot of it is based on making it as hard as possible to optimize. Yeah. Which is why this is a game that is perfect for Trashathon.
Yeah, it's garbage themed, and it's a very good game, I believe, but it's a terrible speed game, which is why it's a good speed game. It's sort of a gamble all the time, which is not good for a speed game, but there's a lot to figure out. There's a lot to unpack. There's a lot to take apart, and that's why I really love it.
Oh, and it looks like Miss Berger had to head out.
Sorry to see you. Okay, so I can say the fuck word. Awesome.
Well, that's $1.
That's $1. No Loster. Awesome.
Oh, I don't think. Have you mentioned the incentive yet?
Yes. We have an incentive going. It's live. I don't think anybody's donated to it yet because the name is sort of vague. It's called 2007 mode. This game has a setting in the options menu called 2007 mode. Basically what it does is it kind of makes all of the pixel lines very smooth, and it adds like really unnecessary like dynamic lighting effects. Like
a lot of bloom.
Just so much bloom. Like, you know those like 2-star like Fallout 3 mods that are like dynamic lighting, but it just makes everything bright and annoying? I shouldn't have incinerated that. I'm a baby. That's cringe. We got him! We got him! We got him!
Oh. Hey!
Alright, we got Loster. I burned a Rusted Kabuto, which puts me down 50 credits, but I got Loster, so we're keeping this run. It's a very good start.
Alright. And we are right about on time, about 30 minutes in. That was about how long we wanted to spend resetting.
Okay, there we go. So yeah, we have the fetish of Loster now. So as I was saying previously, let me check what's on here. Okay, cool. As I was saying previously, the game originally intends for you to find that note that says that there's treasure in the dungeon, buy an Eye of Beb, which is customary to eat before going into dungeons because it changes your perspective to first person. That was bone coin, it's not a lantern. I'm doing great here. But we don't go into the dungeon and search for treasure, and get cursed as you're supposed to be, and then spend the rest of the game breaking the curse. Instead, what we do is we do this. This bank is shaped like a fish and allows us to go over the barrier for the starting area. So then we continue on our route as normal.
We have to keep in mind, though, for this, this is referred to as day 0 because it's technically not the first day. No time passes from what we can tell during this time. Yeah, but we do have to keep in mind that our route doesn't take us back into the starting area because those walls will lock us back inside.
Yeah. And then you have to perform the skip all over again. Shout out to the Nameless One. Ran this game like over a year before me or Greek Geek was running it. They found Day 0 skip. I didn't know they existed when I started running this game, and Greek Geek showed me that their world record run for any percent, which I have now beaten, not to flex. And it blew my mind. I was like, holy... This burger's gone, but I still can't curse.
Don't want to lose that money.
We're going to leave an offering to Thetalude today, because we're technically not praying to Loster, so it's okay. Usually we don't go into this alcove, because it's sort of out of our way, and it usually doesn't have a lot of good trash. But because, again, we have a lot of extra time today, we are alright doing that. Also, the timer says I'm in the red right now. It's comparing against my best segments for some reason. I don't know why it's set to do that. I'm pretty sure I set it to compare against averages. But my best segment for Day 0 is before I knew about Day 0 skip. So, it's a little bit short, because you would just go into the dungeon, get cursed, which that will happen later, and then wake up the next day, which only takes about 2 minutes.
Yeah, however, utilizing the skip, we can actually just essentially spend an entire another day outside without progressing the in-game week, which is very important when we take into account the existence of festival days, which we will get to pretty soon.
Hey, let's go. I'm gonna keep that for later. So that's a prismaglyph. This is very good for me, also. That's a prismaglyph. Prismaglyphs are pills that you can use to gender shift. The race of aliens that you are a part of, Allensi Beast Girls, need to gender shift every couple of days, or else the screen starts getting all weird. In the run, we don't take gender shift pills, because even though it makes the screen all yucky and dysphoric and hard to look at, it's cheaper to go without, which hurts our eye. But I'm just going to eat it now because I don't have enough room in my inventory, which hurts our eyes, but if we gender shift and we needed to, we would probably lose about half a day to a full day, and we cannot have that. So instead we just play with the screen all twisty and with the text unreadable. It makes the text unreadable. It's very cool and I love it.
Yep, completely illiterate and very, very nauseating and disorienting. So, thankfully for you guys, you shouldn't have to experience that until probably later when we don't find another one.
Yeah.
Hey guys, you mind if I do some ranting about donations real quick?
No, that's cool, dude.
Alright, so once again guys, it's Strawberry back on the mic after an ill-fated attempt at a nap and also some delicious, succulent Chinese meal. I do want to go back through some of the donations we've had as they have gone towards certain incentives. It looks like we did meet the King Crab opening for chess. Or maybe these are being applied retroactively, or we just didn't see them. We got a couple of King Crab chess openings. We also got $5 towards me wearing a dude romper, so only $195 left if you want to see that. Not sure why you would, but, you know, it's your call, your money. We did get, apparently a second too late, $20 towards choosing the 6-hour challenge game, which already was chosen. So, to the anonymous person who donated those $20 and said, "Oh really, Tim?" If you would like to pop in the Discord to direct message me, you can just exclamation Discord on the chat. If you want to slide me a DM, I can put those $20 towards something else as that did not get met. We are going to get the Short Hike Seashell. We are going to get the demo run for Sly Cooper. 420 more towards me. Y'all really must want that dude romper. And then 420 towards forcing me to race in Link to the Past randomizer, which I remind you I've not done in over a year. Beyond that, we are looking for some message donations. The way these work, because Tiltify can't automatically handle this, you just send in what you want on your donation message, and then we will apply it to whatever the thing is. So we're looking for choices of A Link to the Past characters for the randomizer. There's lots of those. I can post a link in chat. File name choices for A Link to the Past, a bakery name for Cookie Clicker, in CM Speedrunners from Hell, what we want to do for the 2 seconds we're alive in that run. Sushi Racer, any kind of sushi in the game that is not Tamago, which is the fastest. Pokemon, we're trying to name the player, the rival, the Squirtle, and the Spearow. And most importantly, perhaps, Desperate Housewives, we want to name the main character. So please get those donations in. Looking forward to it. Last recap, MP5 still ahead in our Dark Souls 3 gun. We're still ahead for the bad Sega Sonic ending.
Okay, can I pop in for a sec?
$25. Go.
Cool. Okay, so here we enter our house. The game thinks that we're entering the dungeon, so it gives us the little dungeon text. Then it loads for a while as it realizes, wait a second, you're not going into the dungeon, you're going into your house. So it basically just skips the dungeon sequence. Real quick, I'm going to change the splitter to compare against average instead of best, because that was annoying me. We're going to stick this note in the Eye of Beb into the chest, and also the Loster, and also this candle into the chest, because we won't need any of those things until later. Now we're going to go outside.
Alright, and what he just did at that shrine, the big picture of Loster on the wall, is he received his payment. That's how you make money in this game primarily, is every time you burn a piece of trash, the game logs it, and every time the game logs you burning a piece of trash, it gives you a certain amount of money into your balance that you will pick up every day.
And so that adds two very interesting elements. The first kind of interesting element about how payment works is that you don't get it until next day. So you need to make sure that at the beginning of the day, if you're going to be spending a lot of money, as we do at certain days, that you have enough money at the start of the day, because you're not going to be able to make more by making trash, or at least you won't be able to get that money until tomorrow. The other way that it's interesting is that your standard rate isn't standard. From what I understand, there is no consistent rate for how much money you earn per piece of trash incinerated. And that's another reason why luck is really important. Hey, we just got a fetch of Agamemnon, we're going to need that later. That's another reason why luck is really important, because it raises your income. So one thing I forgot to talk about was there's a lady with an exclamation mark over her head outside of her house on day 1. She explains to us that when we went into that dungeon that we didn't go into, we got cursed by a skull, and we're going to need to do 3 different quests in order to get pieces of the quest tablet, and then use that quest tablet to give it to an adventurer who will break the curse for us. So there's 4 total things we have to do. The 3 things we have to do to get the quest tablet are A, prove our devotion to the goddesses, by getting 1 of each fetish. We don't have to have it all on hand, we just need to have it in possession. Then we have to give a book of slime smut to a creepy slime man. And then we have to venture into the sewer dungeons, get the tablet, and then run away. Or run away, as you'll see. Shrine. The touch slabs can be worth a little bit of money. We don't usually keep them, or I don't usually keep them just because they're hard to sell. We do keep scrap metal, because scrap metal is usually just above trash incineration prices, and it's super common, especially in the Grove District. If we have a lot of other like high-ticket items in our inventory, I typically make it the first thing to burn if we need to make space, or just drop and pick up the next day. But it's a nice subsidizer to the income, sometimes boosting us up, sometimes covering bad days.
And another important thing to mention about how selling things works as opposed to just burning them is that actually no shops have fixed inventories.
Yeah.
They will all be random depending on whatever really the game feels like giving you. However, there are things that are a lot more consistent, such as scrap metal, and then things like the touchpad or mess grants are very infamous for just sometimes showing up and being worth a lot when you sell them, and sometimes sitting in your inventory for multiple days.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why we oftentimes will open and close our inventory a whole bunch of times, because prices aren't generated at the beginning of the day. Generally, I think like a range of prices generated at the beginning of the day, but the actual price itself that you get either buying or selling is generated as you open the menu. And so you can, I call it re-rolling prices if you want to try and get a better one. Sometimes we'll have to settle for prices that are below what was initially offered, just because like it's not worth it to keep re-rolling, and the price we got initially was the highest we were going to get. But a lot of the times, especially if we know we're being undercut, it can get us a couple extra credits. You'll notice there's a lot of containers on the ground. The containers are one way to hire an adventurer. You give them to that man right now, Gnormo. Gnormo, he wants 150 containers, and then he'll give you an item called a Mythic Spell Swatch, which is necessary for the any percent run, but we're running any percent no M Swatch. And I'll explain what that means at some point when I have kind of a no commentary point. But, yeah, he gives us a Spell Swatch, we give a Spell Swatch to an adventurer, then fucking, yeah, they do the quest, for us. That's another monster. Cool.
Oh, nice. So, essentially, there are 3 in-game solutions to hiring an adventurer. You can either just flat pay one, which is, I believe, 600 credits.
Yep. 600.
You can give one in a Mythic Spell Swatch, or you can give one 5, I want to say. What are something batteries? Mega batteries.
I just found one on the ground. I can
probably
probably sell it. Yeah, so mega batteries are super rare, and it's one that even in a casual playthrough, I've never used that in game. Mythic spell swatches are very expensive, and you're expected to get your spell swatch from Gnormo, but you can also get a spell swatch from a Lotto Shrine very early in the game, and that essentially allows you to entirely eliminate the grind for 600 credits that happens after you get the quest tablet together. One sec, as an interjection, I gotta buy some food. Because you need to gender shift message takes priority. We never know when we're hungry, so it's kind of annoying. But anyways, yeah. The no M Swatch category basically comes from the fact that in order to get a world record any percent run, you have to get that Mythic Spell Swatch. But the chances of that happening are very, very low. So instead we just split it up into any percent and any percent no M Swatch, which is where you beat the game in any way but the Mythic Spell Swatch. Alright, so today is a festival day, and on festival days all of the vendors cater their inventory towards religious items. That means that fetishes are going to be cheaper and more commonplace, and it also means that we're going to be able to sell them for more. We just ate something off the ground, don't worry, it's safe. Or at least that item is safe. Yeah. And so that candle, that round boy, we're gonna sell that. And it's gonna hopefully go for a lot of money. We're also going to buy essentially every fetish today. So hopefully we will have the money for that.
Yeah, so that is why the Day Zero skip was such a revolutionary sort of skip, because that allows us one entire extra day of grinding money to buy fetishes before they go essentially on sale. Think of it like the Black Friday of fetishes. So having an entire another day before that, because it's a 9-day week, I want to say, which is, yeah, one for each goddess, I believe. So actually, we need to have a lot of money on the second day, officially. However, using the Day Zero skip, we get another day to squeeze that in, and hopefully not have to last till the next festival day. I am also terrified of Fetish Friday.
There we go. Okay, cool. Both of those goddesses that are pretty much always at that stand on this day, we got pretty good prices on. I'm just going to take the Beb now because we don't really need to make sure we find extra fetishes, just because they're pretty common on festival days. Also, God, I shouldn't have turned my graphics up. It's really tanking the FPS, ain't it? It's really tanking the FPS. If you want this, but even worse, because this is Trashathon, put in money for the 2007 mode incentive.
Yes, that
Be
boom
much,
will
much worse.
absolutely melt the FPS.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not a very well optimized game, and I don't say that as an insult. This was, I feel like it was probably made on a literal shoestring budget. They found like a wad of $1 bills and a shoestring and said we can make a game out of this, yeah. So it's not the best optimized game in the world. And so when you turn on the dynamic lighting effects, all the bloom, it really tanks it.
Yeah, it also doesn't help that it's a festival day, which I believe adds a lot more sprites around, of course, the wonderful music that we're hearing. A lot of like lanterns and such hanging up, and every one of those drops the FPS by a little bit, and since they're all over the place, it really doesn't like it.
There's the fetish of Thedalude. Thedalude is the goddess of partying, and they can only be found on the ground during festival days. Wow, that's an expensive Hall of Honor. Usually we can get Hall of Honor, which is the most expensive one, in that stall. But that looks like that's not the case today. Oh god, they're not good today. Prices aren't good today. I'm gonna see if I can buy that somewhere else.
Yeah, so that's another thing about trying to buy things on specific days. That strategy only works until it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is no... I've had day ones where fetishes have been selling for like 5 to 20 credits a piece, which is ridiculously cheap. And I've had festival days where they're supposed to be cheap, selling for 200 to 500. So while most of the time it's better to buy fetishes on festival days, there's always the times that it isn't, and that's what you're seeing now.
Please be cheaper, please be cheaper, please be cheaper, please be cheaper. You seen this?
Oh my.
Okay. Alright, okay, we're gonna have to get the Hall of Honor at home. I'm not a fan of this. Okay. Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna see how expensive the Hall of Honor in the yellow district is, and we can take a lot of time today just to make sure everything's in line. I was hoping to get all of the fetishes today. It looks like that's not gonna be the case. We're not gonna buy Onus because Onus is pretty common outside of festival days. I do want to see if I can pick up a Delphine, and I have to pick up a Hall of Honor, because Hall of Honors pretty much only show up on festival days, at least at an affordable price. So, we know there is always one that isn't the best price, but is usually around 100 credits in the yellow district where you live. Hopefully this works. If not...
Oh boy. All that grinding.
Yeah, it's in the correct range, so we just gotta... Yeah, get it under 100. Okay.
You just gotta take the hit sometimes.
Yeah.
And
So
now you're seeing why this is on Trashathon,
Yeah.
as opposed to a regular speedrun.
I need
marathon.
Delphine and I need Onus. I don't think I have enough money for both. I'm going to see how expensive the one Delphine is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go over average here, just because none of the fetishes are in the correct place. So I kind of have to wander around the map. But again, usually there's a curfew. On festival days, there is no curfew, and that helps us considerably.
I didn't actually know that myself.
Okay, it's around the 70s, and There's one Delvine that's always in one specific place. It's like a mat. It's a little bit away. Check. I probably could just pick up the onus and be done with it, but I want to make sure I know where prices are at before I make any decisions. Because I'll slow down the run temporarily, but I can very much slow it down if I screw this up. Alright, how much are the Delvines here? Greek Geek, what's your call here? What's your call here, Delvine or Onus?
I'd pick up Delvine if I were you, because Onus typically spawns on the way from the blue district on my route.
Yeah.
And if I were the consistent scrap metal spawn is. So
Delvine tends to spike a lot more. So that's rough. I would have really preferred to have all of the fetishes today, and we would have if it wasn't for prices just spiking for no reason. Probably because I ended up having a lot of fetishes earlier than I usually have.
Yeah. Kind of sucks that you put that up earlier, but nothing you can really do about it now.
Yep.
Alright, it looks like that's going to take us to the end of Fetish Friday.
Yep. We have to enter a certain amount of letters into our journal every day. I just press E, which is the interact button, over and over. Okay, is that Nonus? Can I afford it, is the real question. I probably can, actually. Okay, that's nice. Awesome, so I have all of the fetishes now. So now, I just need to talk to another Necrus, one of those magic ladies, in the Green District, and she will set me up for getting the 9 fetish tablet tomorrow. And that day just happens to be when, on this route, we get every other tablet piece. Because, despite the fact that this game is very anti-speedrun, it puts all of them in very close proximity to each other.
And nice line as well. You don't even have to really go out of your way to get any of them. It's pretty much just a linear one to the next to the next.
That's very nice.
So after this is kind of where the run picks up for about a day, and then it's the money grind.
Yep.
So this is about the most interesting part of the run, I would say, is coming up soon. And then it's a lot of kind of just sitting and selling, burning, waiting.
Yep. That's this run. I'll probably, at that point, start commentating a lot of bit-by-bit decisions. This game is really, at its core, about, first of all, that broader routing, figuring out strategies that work consistently, but also just making moment-by-moment decisions quickly. Do I keep this? Do I sell this? Sometimes you make that decision wrong, like when I burned that 50 credit item. Sometimes you make it right. It just depends. I guess that raises our luck. I don't get Tears of Bet very often, so I don't really know what to do with them.
I
I'm gonna leave candles here.
think I had it once and I just burned it because it was an unfamiliar item.
Oh god. When you have the graphics turned up, it makes everything staticky. Oh, that's great.
Oh, I didn't
You
actually
seeing this?
know that. I always run it on such low graphics.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
Did you see that Delvine on the ground?
I saw that.
After I paid 75 credits for it? I love this game. I honestly think the game is actually programmed to give you fetishes the day after you pay hand over fist for them. God, it's so staticky. God, it's so staticky. Oh, this is great.
So this is the effect that we were talking about earlier. That happens whenever you need to gender shift, but you can't because this is a speed run and quality of life is not allowed.
Yeah. Actually, I actually might turn the game on and off just with different graphic settings if this gets any worse. Turns out we were actually right the whole time for playing on low graphics. Oh shit, I need to talk to the green lady, green district lady. I didn't do that. I was too busy talking about needing to gender
Terrible
shift.
video effects.
Yeah. It looks like a bad vaporwave video.
Somehow the bad graphics look better than this.
Yeah.
Man, now if only we could get that wonderful 2007 mode to show up.
Yeah, that'd be great. If everybody just put in the dollars for the 2007 mode incentive. You know,
It'd probably smooth this out some. Maybe.
it would just add more bloom. Nobody's buying the trading cards I want to sell. That's a shame.
I've never had luck with trading cards personally. I don't know, maybe next to the smut shot, which is right next to your house.
Okay. There's this little fast lane thing. Despite the fact that it's fast and this is a speed run, we don't really use it very often because it's kind of out of the way of everything.
I personally never even covered this place in my route.
So what we just did there was we talked to the Necrus in the Green District. She said, meet me at the big old ziggurat in the Red District. We said, okay, and did that. Cool.
Yeah, an interesting thing to note about this game specifically in the map, is it is very confusing. It took me a lot of time, even with a physical map of the game, to understand what was happening. And it's not linear at all. It loops around on itself multiple times. So that's why, if you're just watching this, it's very confusing to figure out, especially if you've never seen this game before, how we're getting from place to place. Because we could, especially at that fast track area, it loops in a circle around the map.
Yeah.
So it looks like we just got on it, and now we're back in the exact same place, or we are halfway across the map.
I would call it semi-non-Euclidean. So, now the exciting day happens. So there's a smut shop right by our house. This is not a coincidence. We need to buy Gardens of the Galaxy. There's 2 Gardens of the Galaxies. We need 258 because...
Around the map.
Yeah.
So it looks like we just got on it, and now we're back in the exact same place, or we are halfway across the map.
I would call it semi-non-Euclidean. So, now the exciting day happens. So there's a smut shop right by our house. This is not a coincidence. We need to buy Gardens of the Galaxy. There's 2 Gardens of the Galaxies. We need 258 because...
Around the map.
Yeah.
So it looks like we just got on it, and now we're back in the exact same place, or we are halfway across the map.
I would call it semi-non-Euclidean. So, now the exciting day happens. So there's a smut shop right by our house. This is not a coincidence. We need to buy Gardens of the Galaxy. There's 2 Gardens of the Galaxies. We need 258 because...
Around the map.
Yeah.
So it looks like we just got on it, and now we're back in the exact same place, or we are halfway across the map.
I would call it semi-non-Euclidean. So, now the exciting day happens. So there's a smut shop right by our house. This is not a coincidence. We need to buy Gardens of the Galaxy. There's 2 Gardens of the Galaxies. We need 258 by it, because it will transport us to right outside. Not right outside, to the top of the ziggurat. If we get caught by it, and we'll have to go to another IFBEB. It'll waste a whole bunch of time, so we can't get caught by it. Luckily, we know the route so well, and we're going so fast that we're not going to get caught by it. And also, it's kind of stuck in the wall, sort of, because we did the day 0 skip, and this is where you get cursed, and so it sticks it in the corner until after you've done the day 0 part where you get cursed, and you go in here and you get cursed by the skull. In order to keep you from, getting booted before the game officially begins. However, it can get you, right? So we need to make sure we do not get caught by it. We need to make sure, under no circumstances, the Spectre or Starbucks ghost catches you. This shaking is very bad. It means you're about to get caught, and oh no! We got caught by the Starbucks ghost. That's so annoying.
You're gonna have to drink their coffee now.
Yeah. Luckily, it doesn't take away your tablet piece, and it spawns you on top of the ziggurat, which consequently, is where you talk to the Necrus that gives you the second tablet piece. So that's very convenient for us.
Looks like Miss Burger is back.
Let's go!
Extra friendly, family friendly, which you already were.
Yeah, no cursing allowed.
Yep, and then the immediate next message in chat was, oh geez, I assume due to the static and screen shake and wobbly effect. Yep, welcome to Diaries of a Space Janitor.
Alright, we give this guy the slime smut because he's grody, and then he gives us the piece. After we give him the slime smut, the next day he's gone forever. So let's get a poggers for that. That we no longer have to see his stupid face. Yeah. So now we have all 3 tablet pieces, and we next need to go to meet a man in the Purple District named Dungeon Sage Orlock. He's sort of a weird, like, ant-eater, lizard, dragon, wizard, gizzard. He puts the tablet together for us. Also, fun fact, first of all, you sometimes get food in the Lotto Shrines. It's the most useful thing it can give you, other than house watches. Other fun fact, burning fetishes, despite the fact that you would think it's kind of sacrilegious, doesn't actually decrease your luck, which is convenient because we get a lot of bebs. On my stream, I have attached to the splitter a little beb counter. It reaches the 20s regularly. I don't have it here because I don't want to keep up with it while I'm also trying to keep up with commentary. But yeah, there's a lot of bebs, and we eventually just start incinerating them because we don't need luck where we're going. We do need luck, but we don't need beb.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard is a very good band. I agree. I'm glad somebody caught that reference.
So yeah, a lot of just vibing here. The vibing would be in a slightly slower frame rate. Are you seeing this?
I'm not seeing this. I'm seeing stream delay.
Yeah, I got a notice. That's so cool. Yeah, this would be in considerably lower FPS and thus more Trashathon-y if I'm gonna leave this candle on the ground so I can grab this bolt of cloth, which is very sellable. We always pick up bolts of cloth. Yeah, if we put in the money donated to the Tiltify page for 2007 mode, get in those bloom effects.
I can't wait for one thing to go wrong, on the game, and you make up all of the incentive yourself in cursing.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Have you been
Mythic
keeping
Strike
track?
block to drop.
Have you been keeping track, by the way, of how many
Track.
curses?
Of what?
Have you been keeping track, by the way, of how many illicit curse words I've dropped, thus requiring me to donate because Miss Burger is watching?
I think I've heard one. You're doing good so far.
Cool. I'm doing good. I'm keeping it clean.
good.
I'm keeping it family friendly.
Good for your wallet, but bad for the donations.
Yeah. Again, for anybody who wasn't here at the beginning of the stream, I don't know how it happened, but apparently my 6th grade teacher is watching this run, and so I can't curse or else she'll be very mad. And even though I have not been in the 6th grade for many years, I'm still a little bit afraid. Who isn't, you know? God, I'm getting so many fetishes. It's bonkers. I'm gonna drop this mega battery on the ground. If I can get a little bit of input from chat, can I? Okay, I'm not out of battery yet. If I can get a little bit of input from chat, should I keep high graphics on and this static effect, or should I switch to non this? If everybody could just provide a little bit of input, because I'm a little bit torn. On one hand, this looks very Trashathon. On the other, it's probably affecting my gameplay because I can't see anything. So,
Which is also very Trashathon,
yeah.
to be fair.
So Greek Geek, if you could just monitor chat for that.
Yeah, they are being completely silent. Appreciate it, guys.
Awesome. Oh crap, I forgot to split. Awesome.
The Trashathon official channel says, "What's the most Trashathon?" Implying that suck it up and deal with the static.
Awesome, cool. We forgot to talk to Dungeon Sage Orlok because I have a small brain. But that's okay, because we're not really in any kind of rush, and we don't actually have the tablet pieces. In order to get him to put them back together. We'll just put them back together, like grabbing them from the ether, and then give them to you. So that's fun. In fact, there are a lot of things in this game where like it doesn't really keep track of like whether of how something works after it gets triggered. Like for example, after you tell the Necrus that you want to meet her at the Ziggurat, you can just sell the fetishes back to the people you bought them from. That only really works if you get all of the fetishes on the festival day, which you want to do but doesn't always happen. That only really works then because you can only really reliably sell them on festival days. I'm just going to incinerate that. You can only really reliably sell them on festival days. So as a result, it's not a thing you can do super commonly. But when you can, it definitely gives you a lot more money. And the game doesn't let you not get the tablet because it only keeps track of did you talk to the Necrus at that point while possessing all of the fetishes. At that point, it stops keeping track. So that's a convenient thing about how this game tends to work. Got a bolt of cloth. Bolts of cloth are surprisingly easy to sell. They're kind of everywhere. I'm not sure why. Well, they're not everywhere. Let me correct that. They're pretty much always somewhere in the purple district, though. So, and they're usually worth a pretty decent amount of credits. So, we typically keep them.
One of the frustrating things about bolts of cloth, however, is it has to be the right color.
Yes.
And there are a lot of colors that look very, very close, especially if you're trying to go fast. Yeah. There's, like, cyan and blue, which I'm pretty sure, like, 5 off on RGB values.
There's 2 reds. I don't like the reds at all.
Yeah, there's, like, red and redder red.
Yeah, they're
And
very
then there's
irritating.
orange and yellow.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty intentional, just to make things that much more.
Yeah, there are a lot of items that like we don't sell, even though they're worth a lot of money because they're hard to find places to sell. There are some items that we don't sell, even though we see them a lot. We we don't sell them because they're hard to differentiate. Like spell swatches are worth about the same amount as scrap metal most days. But the issue with spell swatches, which like amplify wizard power, we don't use them because we're not a wizard. They like amplify wizard power. They all look the same, so it's kind of hard to sell them because you can't glance at a shop and figure out what they want. Sometimes you can sell recycled cloth. Usually you can, so I just incinerate it most of the time. Felt are pretty good today.
Just a quick input. We have a $20.07 donation from Anonymous for the comment, "What are frames?" going for activating 2007 mode.
Let's go! Okay. Options, 2007 mode. It's so bright. Well, it's not bright because it's festival day. I do have it? Okay. You can see everything is smoothed out. There's like more complicated rain effects. It will hurt more soon. So
Once it stops raining,
once it stops raining and there's more stuff on the screen, yeah. Generally on rainy days, there's not a lot going. So the frame dropping isn't as bad. Get rid of that one. Different candles are more useful than other candles, and that is because certain candles correspond to certain goddesses. Now, granted, you don't have to give a goddess their, like, preferred candle. One quick thing, this guy, he's a red scarf, basically like the security of the spaceport. He's trying to mug us right now. But quick tip for if you ever get mugged in real life, press escape, and they can't mug you anymore. That's a fact. Is that correct, Greek Geek? That is in fact how it works if you're getting mugged?
that's actually how it works.
Yeah,
you just say
hit
no.
escape. Because you can't not get mugged if you go through the conversation, but if you just hit escape, it exits out of dialogue automatically, so you're safe. Here we're going to talk to Orlok. We give him the tablet pieces, even though they're not with us, and he tells us to go hire an adventure, and we say adventures are expensive, and he says tough luck. So yeah, we're going to have to get 600 credits to hire an adventure. And that's going to be the rest of this run. Probably not going to happen super fast.
Yep. So you guys get to enjoy your 2007 mode for a decent amount of time now.
In a sec, I promise. We might even hit a festival day with 2007 mode. I hope we do, actually, even though that means the run went long, because that is hilarious. And by hilarious, I mean it hurts your eyes. So they were leaving a candle branch for Vala. Again, that's traditionally lit for Vala. We can leave it at any goddess's shrine, and they'll appreciate it and give us luck, but in order to maximize our luck, we want to give light candles to light goddesses. I thought I saw some Mesrandi. I thought I saw some drugs around here, but I suppose I was wrong. There's a man over in this corner. His name is Shifty Salamat. He buys the same drugs every day. Selling drugs you find on the ground is a pretty consistent source of income. More bebs. This time we have to drop it, because we can't incinerate anymore. One thing I haven't explained yet is that your incinerator, your trash incinerator, has a limited battery. The battery is based on two things. The first thing, and the main thing that it's based off of, is time. Over time, it's going to slightly go down, and this is to prevent you from, just hitting a wall with how much trash you can burn per day. But also, in order to stop you from making insane amounts of money, because again, poverty simulator, it also reduces it by just a little bit every time you burn trash. So there's kind of both going on, and it's sort of hard to predict. I mean, there's the bar, but it's sort of hard to predict how much incinerator you're going to have on any given day.
Yeah, the bar isn't particularly telling in whether or not, like, how many you have left. I've burnt 10 plus pieces of trash with, like, barely any bar left, and then I'll have, like, a decent bit and burn one piece and be out. So it's another one of those really opaque mechanics of the game.
So here you'll see, because 2007 mode is on, lots of bloom effects. It's very bright. They're slightly dampened by the presence of the static effect, but there is a difference. I'm not crazy, right? It is definitely a lot brighter. Am I correct?
It's a lot brighter, and
okay,
all of the signs are even worse now.
Yeah. I don't think I don't have Sprint's candles. Item drops haven't been great this run. I've been getting a lot of fetishes, but not a lot else in terms of value. And fetishes are you can only really reliably sell them on festival days. So that's rough. Also, a lot of trading cards. Trading cards, sometimes they're very consistent, and everyone wants to buy trading cards. Sometimes they sit in your inventory for days, and there's essentially no way to know what kind of run it's going to be. You just kind of have to walk around with them and see. Here. Spawn food on the ground. You'll oftentimes find food on the ground. Some food you can eat off the ground, some food you can't eat off the ground. Jelly slug droppings, 100% okay. Safe to eat. If you eat nothing but them all day, you might start throwing up, but the chances of that happening aren't too strong. Anything spoiled, you want to avoid, though. Anything spoiled, you want to avoid.
And also pot roach corpses.
Yes, you can eat those, technically. You'll begin vomiting immediately. And vomiting, you know, it could be cast as good because it generates you a whole bunch of free trash on the ground. It also slows you down for like 15 seconds, so we're not a big fan of that happening to us. Nobody's buying the trading cards ahead. They all just want the yellow one. What's the deal with the yellow one? Is it like OP or something?
Yeah, that one's Nicol Bolas.
I should have used that candle of Delphine, and also that candle of Halavana. Again, talking, forgot to do it. That's my bad.
Ooh, I don't know if that's an added effect of the 2007 mode or the fact that you need to gender switch, but sometimes you duplicate visually.
Yeah, I think that's that I need to gender shift.
I've not seen that before.
Because we have higher graphics activated.
Probably,
it happens.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, cool. Anybody want my trading cards over here? No? Okay. Water Shrine. Credit chip. Yes, we'll keep that. Okay, head over to Vala. Remembering to use the candle this time.
Yes.
We're really thriving here. God, my eyes. The static and the light effects and the frame drops anytime there's more than 3 sprites on screen. It's glorious. It's really glorious. Fuck. I gotta...
And I'd just like to mention, you have a pretty good computer. You're not like running.
I I do. I mean, I haven't updated the rig in a while, so this was really good in, like, 2013. But it should be able to run this game. It's just a game made out of duct tape. It's not held together with duct tape. It's a game made out of duct tape. Welcome to the year 2005, boys. Welcome to the year 2005, Vamers. Fucking. God, it's duct tape wallet time.
That was 2 and 3 right there.
Oh no. Oh no.
Right
That's
in front
okay,
of your
though.
6th grade teacher.
It's for a good cause, Miss Berger. Don't worry.
It's okay. I'm sure she appreciates you selling drugs off the ground just as much.
I agree. I honestly really do hope we reach a festival day, though. Just so everyone can see how far the frames drop, because it's not great right now, but it gets impressive later.
It's not the best. Like, it's not the worst right now,
Okay, that's
but
pretty good.
it does get a lot worse on festival days. Like, it's noticeable on normal festival days. Oh, it looks like, Arcade, it looks like your friend Cosmic DD has stopped into chat.
Let's go! Let's go! I love that guy. How you doing, Cosmic DD? How you doing?
He caught the stream.
Let's go.
Eddie is very confused.
Oh, yeah,
It's nice to have you here, Cosmic.
For anybody unaware, which is everybody except for me, Creek Geek, and Cosmic, Cosmic DD is...
And Zoomer.
And Zoomer, who's also watching. Cosmic DD, good buddy of mine, watches my streams from time to time, asks many questions. He's a very curious lad, and I love him. Alright. Do we have a candle? I'm gonna give her one of my Holavana candles, just because I don't like having 2 candles for the same goddess. She did not
Yeah,
like that.
Cosmic, we would love to hear a secret.
Yes, we would love to hear your secret.
Arcade, Cosmic is asking you specifically if you would
Okay.
like to hear his secret.
I would love to hear your secret, Cosmic DD.
The secret would be... It was England the entire time.
No! Oh, that's very
For
funny.
everyone not in the loop, that would be our real life friend.
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, as a recap of the full Cosmic DD joke, there was, I guess, somebody in the Discord for Trashathon for a while. Maybe I'm just hallucinating, but I remember there being somebody in the Discord for Trashathon for a while with the name Cosmic DD. They showed up in my stream at one point, and I didn't recognize the name at first, and they asked a lot of really weird questions. They asked, what if the Skull Man from the game that floats around you got legs and walked away, and then showed up on your couch with fruit gushers. Not fruit gushers, Kool-Aid gushers. And, I said, I don't know. And eventually, after he kept asking weird questions that only sometimes pertain to the run, I was like, hey, I think you're from, you know what Trashathon is, and you're simply deceiving me. And then he was like, yeah, I'm messing with people to see if they can withstand questioning while playing. And I was like, wow, that's nice of you. And then I guess that was deception, and I thought he actually was a weird 12-year-old who was in pre-algebra, and now it's apparently my boy England. So, thank you, England. I appreciate that, Jake. That's a very long-term joke. I appreciate it.
He's already gotten off. He had to go back to work.
Oh,
but
that's rough. That's rough. Yeah, fellow wanted
So
to
you've
catch
heard
this
the
stream.
secret, but would you
I've
like to
heard
hear
the
a
secret.
donation?
I would love to hear a donation.
All right, we've got $20 from Chimera, aka Chim, who says, "Long-time viewer, first-time donor. Let's bust this testicular cancer and witness some truly repugnant runs." And that money is going to the dumpster bear training montage cutscene, which I believe may have actually been met by that. Let me look. It has. It actually doubled it. So that's about how that works, I guess. GG.
GG. Fighting a lot of candles this run. Is that just me? You seeing that too?
I'm seeing it too.
Okay.
Especially the meat candles. There's been a lot of those.
If I could just get around that. Hope that didn't register as walking on the spiral. Walking on that spiral in the green district is apparently unlucky. I guess the devs read Uzumaki and said, ooh, we can do that. I don't know if it actually reduces your luck, but it says in the game that it reduces your luck, and I'm not willing to risk it. There's technically an in-game luck gain, luck loss sound that should inform us, but the sound is kind of janky. Sometimes your luck raises or lowers, but you don't get the sound.
Sometimes the sound plays and it didn't touch your luck.
Yeah. Just sorta
My
easier to
personal
mess with you.
favorite instance of misleading luck sounds is we thought we found a very interesting strategy that we could infinitely generate luck on day 0 by picking up one specific type of candle.
That
However,
oval one, if you were
time
paying
we picked
attention.
it up, it just reset our luck. But
Yeah.
it played the luck gain sound.
Yeah, because again, as I mentioned earlier, escape Muggin. As I mentioned earlier, Beb, the goddess of RNG, hates min-maxers, and so she frowns upon picking up the same luck-granting item over and over. I should by now be able to keep track of what's in my inventory. I can't. And I've just accepted that. We're gonna keep that so we can burn it later.
I have to open my inventory at least 10 times per day. Every time I walk next to a very crowded market district.
Alright. I think we've eaten enough today that we don't have to go to the... Okay, yeah. Cool. We've eaten enough. Now we can... just go to bed.
Alright,
This
and
cutscene.
I'd like to mention as well, usually the game tells you whether or not you've ate enough to go to bed. Up in the top left corner where it says you need to gender shift. However, since you need to gender shift, it overwrites every other message that will show up there.
So you just kind of have to do guesswork. If you haven't gotten a lot of food on the ground, you can generally guess, hey, I think, that I won't have to buy food today. It's not too big of a deal. Worst case scenario, you waste a couple seconds going back, getting something, eating, getting another thing, eating, and then going back up to your apartment. But it's preferable to avoid that all.
Alright, I was not paying attention to what day it is now. However, hopefully we're approaching a festival day. I think we are.
I think we are. I don't think I'm going to be able to make this run fast enough that I can avoid a festival day. Which, again,
I
is normally
say
bad,
so.
but in this case is good, because I want to see those no frames. Is there... notice over there?
Yep, we
Okay.
still have roughly 27 minutes in our time slot.
Yeah.
So, not counting the pushback, or the push forward? I don't. Not counting the schedule change from the run before us taking longer. I don't know if that affected our slot at
Which
all.
is no big deal, because you got the run, so I'm not complaining about that. Just disclaimer,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
the
mad about
important
that last
part.
run. That run was insane. I'm super hyped for it.
It really was. I watched a decent bit of it, and he kept dying. I wasn't really into it until he got that run, and that was a worth
shout
the
out,
part.
shout out to Math Geek. Shout out to Math Geek. Okay. Hopefully somebody wants a Raider Armament. Yes, they do. That's a pretty good price. I don't want to risk messing it up. Yeah, sometimes you'll find just, like, insanely expensive things on the ground, and you just have to not incinerate them, like I incinerated that rusted Kabuto.
Or the bone coins at the start as well.
Yeah. Bone coins aren't the worst thing to incinerate, though. Anything, they're called, the full name is Nawani bone coins. Anything of Nawani origin, for some reason, is cursed, so picking it up reduces your luck. That's why at day 0 you start out with sort of a deficit of luck, because you pick up 2 piles of bone coins. It's not as bad as if you did day 0 normally, because if you do day 0 normally, when you get the skull curse, your luck goes down to negative 100. So it's not as bad, but there is still definitely a not insignificant reduction in luck. So many bebs. So many bebs. That's a Delphine. I can sell that on a festival day.
You should have done the bed counter.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
That's like your 4th or 5th Delphine. That's...
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of them on the ground.
Sometimes.
She didn't show up when I needed her to. There's usually a couple of pretty consistent Delphine locations on day 1, also known as day 2, depending on how you shake it. But none of them showed up, so I had to buy an expensive Delphine. But now she wants to make it known that she is still here. She is still present. And she still kills runs. With her 5 swords. We don't usually sell gems, because even though gems are super consistent, once you get your luck high enough, they're usually worth less than incinerating a piece of trash. However, yellow gems, which are accurately labeled the best gem, we can, in fact, sell for like 3 credits, so it's nice. We can also exchange these coin shards. I shouldn't have reset. We sometimes find currency on the ground. Yeah, they're pretty consistent to sell. In fact, the bank is one of the only stores that has the same items every single day, and pretty much the same price range every single day, regardless of your luck. So finding money on the ground is really nice because it's literal money. The exchange rate doesn't fluctuate that much. It's just overall a good drop. Have a candle? No. Awesome, that's food. Because I have a little bit of extra incineration battery, I'm gonna head into this alcove and burn some trash. Again, usually we don't go here because we don't have any battery left, and we don't need to pray to Theodolude because it's one of the 2 goddesses we cut out of our route. Because again, reminder, if we pray to all 9 every day, RN Jesus will knock our luck down for trying to min-max. So we usually don't go here, but on days like this, where we got through pretty fast, we do. Or at least I do.
And a note about spawns on the ground. The less you walk through an area, the more it will accumulate trash on the ground. So taking routes, sometimes like that little alcove where Theodolude's at, will actually give you a lot more trash than if you just go the normal route. So that's worth keeping note of if you have a lot of spare incinerator battery.
Yeah, and that's why you can do things like leave Beb on the ground and know that you can pick her up later, because it just doesn't despawn. It's not a thing that happens. Very convenient for us. Apparently, you're the only janitor on this entire spaceport, so you can very conveniently use the ground as sort of a storage unit. My payouts are not very good this run. I got a 31 yesterday and a 25 today. And I think I've been burning a pretty decent amount of trash.
Yeah. Right. Burning a decent bit.
Just happens.
Yep, that's
Very
all
fun
in
one.
the luck. And not the actual stat this time.
Wrong one. This one. Okay, cool. Okay, we're not gonna get that one very high, sadly. Trading cards fluctuate a lot. Just depending on how rare any given one is at any given time. Most of the time you can generally know, okay, this one's going to be worth this range, but out of all the items, they definitely do fluctuate a lot. Another reason why, even though I'm partial to them, they're probably not the most consistent thing to pick up, and you should probably burn them pretty early when you need to make room for stuff.
Yep, just like real-life trading cards, those values are very, very inconsistent.
Yep. Yeah, really not a fan of the rain days. They drastically reduce the amount of trash on the ground, so that kind of throws your whole ecosystem off. Because less trash is less money from burning trash, but also more broadly, less trash is less money from like selling stuff you find on the ground. So that definitely it definitely sets you back a lot. And I don't think rain days follow any consistent pattern. In my experience, they don't. There might be a number of set patterns per run. I haven't done any testing for that. But yeah, we're not exactly sure how rain works. Greek, do you know how rain works?
I've had pretty consistent, like, day 3 rain, but past that I usually don't pay much attention to it. Also, quick interjection from chat, Miss Burger is leaving.
Okay. Bye, Miss Burger. Sorry I cursed that one time.
Twice in a row.
Twice in a row. Is anybody buying square metal? Doesn't look like it. I can probably check green for square metal. Again, scrap metal is pretty consistent, but sometimes they only want the small metal, and sometimes they only want the big metal. There we go. You want scrap. Usually I reroll prices to be optimal, but there are some points when you have like a lot of the same item of trash where it's just not worth it. Once you hit about 3 items, unless it's a day where you're noticing prices are fluctuating by a lot, it's usually not worth it. Also, the rain making it harder to see is much worse when you're on the higher graphics setting.
Yeah, 2007 mode also distorts a lot. Plus just the inherent effects from needing to gender shift,
Yeah.
which I hope everybody is enjoying the TV static.
Yeah, it's great. It's super great. think... No, I don't have those cards. What was I thinking? Nice, food. You can always use food. I'm gonna leave these candles to Halavana, just because I want to get rid of them. Another bed. And because it's a rain day, I probably could try and incinerate more trash, but it's probably a better use of my time to just go to bed and skip to the next day. Because once we get to a festival day, we'll probably finish everything right then by selling all of our finishes. And, at a high price, and then paying off the adventurer we need to pay off.
Yep. So, I don't know what day it is currently. The day festival days are on is the day, and the day before that would be Mo Day, I believe. Not all of the days of the week are regular days of the week with one or two letters switched around.
Yeah.
But those do happen to be.
Yeah. I don't really keep track of days, just because the only day that's really relevant is festival days, and generally if you hit a festival day, your run isn't going to be a PB, or it's not going to be a record, so I don't really keep a lot of track of it, but at a marathon like this, we're probably going to hit a second festival day, and in that case it probably would be relevant, so that's my mistake. Take that round, some of the trash I haven't hit. Jelly slug droppings. While we're just kind of walking around and not a lot is going on, I want to talk about all the goddesses. The goddess right outside of our house is, as I mentioned earlier, Beb, goddess of poverty, luck, basically RNGesus. The one we just prayed to was Sprents. She's an orange, or an orb, and she's the goddess of rituals. What we just prayed to is Agramana, or Agramona. Depending on how you feel like pronouncing it. None of the pronunciations are set. And she's the goddess of romance and love. This is Delvine. She's the goddess of perils, monsters, and traps. So it's suitable that the Dungeons and Dragons goddess is placed in the Adventurers District. Usually we don't loop around here, but because, again, not a lot going on, we have the extra time to check for trash over here. Absolutely nothing. That's wonderful. Probably,
yeah,
again, because not a lot accumulated, because yesterday was a rain day. What were you going to say?
And as we were keeping with talking about the different goddesses, as we were talking about at the beginning of the stream, Onus is kind of by this fast track that goes in a loop. She is wearing a pristine white cloak, and I think that's pretty much the only thing about her. I don't know what she's
has
actually...
It's cool. She's the goddess of the interior, of interiors. I don't know what that means. This one is Halavana. Halavana is the goddess of fertility. Appropriately, she's a weird, orb, branch thing, which, when I think fertility, I think weird branch thing. I need to turn in that credit chip.
Yes, and it's actually pronounced Havalana. It's weird.
I switch it every couple of days between Havalana and Halavana.
I think Halavana is the day of the week, and Havalana is the goddess proper.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. I hate that.
No, it is not fun. It's very hard to keep track of. There was Onus a little bit back. on the counter. The sort of bright white figure.
Yeah. I could have kept that, but Scrapman wasn't right today. Taking it around town, hit the lotto shrine. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? We can sell that. In here, inside the bank, is the Shrine to Loster. She's the goddess of good deals, money, and trading. Ironically, you can't buy her. If this game had lore, there would be some kind of cool in-lore reason where she got banished from commerce forever and now rules from the ground, or something like that. I don't know. As it stands, she's just really annoying because she's the only goddess you can't pick up consistently.
Yep. I don't even know for certain if she can spawn in lotto shrines either.
I've gotten her in a couple lotto shrines. You typically find her on the ground, is a lot more common, but she does show up in lotto shrines sometimes, even though that is more Beb's domain. That's Vala. She's the goddess of, I think, discipline? Yeah, like discipline and magic and stuff. That's a health potion. They're very useful. Sometimes, despite our best efforts, we get sick. That slows us down a lot. We don't want that to happen, so having a health potion on hand is very convenient. We need to sell the mind oil. Hello, selling. We usually want to get mind oil up to 10 credits. Sometimes it's just not cooperating, and we have to settle. There we go. That's around 10. It's close enough. It rounds. Not a lot happening, so we're going pretty fast. Kind of burning through all this. Probably 2-ish more days left in game until we hit the end.
Yeah, one or two.
Yeah.
Because once again, we're trying to hit that 600 credit mark. And then once we get that, we're going to pay off an adventurer that I don't think we've even met yet.
No, he doesn't show up until after you put the tablet together, and once you put the tablet together, you stop going on the fast track at all. Take this back road to our house. I hope we don't have to eat today. I'm going to assume we don't, and then be disappointed. I was wrong. Well, I was wrong in that I said I would be disappointed.
Oh, okay.
Okay, today's a festival day, so you're gonna see this game break.
In true form. Wake up, puke.
Yeah, that's very good. Luckily, we have a health potion, cures all ailments, so we're good. We're gonna stick everything in the chest, except we're gonna stick everything in the chest, and the only thing we're gonna keep is some fetishes. Havilanus sells for a lot. Typically, so does Delvine. We have a lot of those. That sells for a lot. That can sell for a lot. Cool. So now we're just going to walk around today and sell fetishes to get up to our 600 credit point, hoping to have enough money to eat by the end of the day. We can technically eat for like 5 credits if we choose to eat Nutrient Shock. Nutrient Shock is sort of sus, though, just because it has a high chance of making you vomit. And yeah, 2007 mode, high quality graphics, festival day. This is the frame rate.
Enjoy those frames.
Enjoy the frame rate.
Really
whoever hit that incentive, this is what you wanted, so I hope you're happy. I think I give you for that. Oh god, this is near unplayable. I can pull it off, but wow. Wow. There we go.
Single
I feel like I'm piloting
frames,
I feel like I'm piloting a tank right now. I feel like I'm at the head of a tank. I'm gonna go in and get more fetishes. Now that I've sold one. Yeah, I know I'm doing
As this is the glory of 2007 mode. If you thought the game was bad up until this point, oh, you were sorely mistaken.
Okay, sweet, now we have everything. Wait, no. No goddesses for sale over here. We're gonna burn some trash today, just kind of as a safety valve, but we're hoping to make most of our money from fetish sales.
Yep. All we need is 46 more credits, plus however much it takes to eat at the end of the day, so
Yeah.
probably another 20, 10, 20.
Hello, Agramana. May your prices be high. This is wow. This is beautiful, honestly.
Oh, see you later, Cinder. Have a good night.
Yeah, see you, Cinder. Big ups for modding the chat. Super helpful. Super cool. We might be able to sell that in a pinch. Seriously, I have to like turn very slowly and very round because I don't know exactly how much every input is gonna do. Small adjustments here. You wanna buy some marijuana? Hello, buy an marijuana. Works. Some onus now. Please buy my onus. Is that a Feedalude in a shop? I've never seen that.
I think I've... No, I don't think I have either,
I've
actually.
never seen a Feedalude in a shop. It looks like...
That's an interesting one. And that's definitely a Festival Day exclusive.
Okay. We probably have enough money now. Okay. Looking on my head. Okay. We need to track here. Over to this guy. He's a little slug man. Not a little slug man. He's a large slug man, just like Luke Skywalker from A New Hope. We have 7.6 credits. That should be enough. Because what we're going to do is we're going to buy a whole bunch of Nutrient Shock, which again has a tendency to make us vomit. We're going to buy a whole bunch of Nutrient Shock, keep it in our inventory, get on top of our bed to pass time until we can go to sleep. And then we're going to just scarf it down. And hopefully that will let us go to bed. If not, we'll sell some fetishes. But hopefully that will work. We're going to drop this on the ground for one more. Hopefully it works, because otherwise we're flat broke.
I don't think I've ever seen this strategy work.
Yeah, I do it as kind of a panic button for when I want to get a run done, within estimate. Right.
Has
Okay,
it ever
cool.
worked?
It's worked a couple times. I don't think you've been on the stream when it's worked. Most of the time when I try it, I mess it up by eating one too early. Cool. Worked. Okay, so we hired the quest guy, we wake up, he takes the curse away from us. We're vomiting now, but that doesn't matter because we don't really need to walk. And the skull talks to us even though the curse has been lifted. And he says, hey, I know you're stuck in a rut. I know that your situation, the various axes of oppression in which you're located, kind of put you in a bad situation. Do you want to go on an adventure? And we say, no, we want to go to bed, because that's faster than going on an adventure. So then the credits roll and time.
All right.
That's pretty much where I wanted the run to be. You can still hear the vomit sounds. That's funny. That's pretty much where I wanted the run to be. Not a terrible run. I mean, not a particularly good run, but I've had worse. I've had much worse. First of all, Greek Geek, anything you want to say?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I did get a message from Cosmic DD again saying he believes in you.
Right. Thank you, Cosmic DD, also known as my boy England. A couple of shout-outs. Shout out to the whole Silver Shovel staff. Super cool that you guys are running this marathon, even when times are not good. It's times like these that, stuff like this, fun stuff like this is important. Shout out to the Nameless one. I mentioned her previously. She was running this game like a year before I was and before Greek Geek was, and she pushed it to insane levels. She still has the any % no amp swatch world record. So shout out to her. Greek Geek, thank you for commentating. And then shout out to anybody who is battling or has survived testicular cancer. That's why we're donating. So yeah, that's all I've got. You can kick me off stream now. I don't know how this transfer is going to happen on my end.
All right. 2064 Arcade, thank you so much for the run. We greatly appreciate it. The lack of frames was phenomenal. It's precisely what we're looking for. Great game about trash. Absolutely love it. Great work. And we'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for running.
See ya.
All right, guys, just
See
give me
ya.
a moment. We will switch over the runs. We're almost back on schedule.